right, welcome back to another episode of the F1 Garage Fantasy Game. Yeah, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
So what happened with our teams, guys? Why did Aston Martin do so well? I don't know. That threw a monkey wrench in, I guess.
Why?
But why?
An
Why?
exciting surprise, to say the least. It was so
Yeah.
cool. A new top 3 team. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think that really kind of throws a monkey wrench in some of our fantasy plans. Now Lance Stroll's looking like a hot commodity.
Top pick now. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Which makes me really glad I had him. So I'm going to run you through what my team did this weekend. So I had Team Red Bull, which with a solid 1-2 finish from Max and Checo, earned me 9.5 points.
Bravo.
With Team Red Bull, they were flying. Pretty much looked unreachable all weekend. It looked like they were toying with everyone in qualifying, and then had extra pace to go with this race. So I'm excited to have them for this year. I also have Sergio Perez, who finished second, earning me 9 points. Carlos Sainz got me 7 points for finishing in fourth place, and Lance Stroll finishing in sixth got me 5 points, which, with a couple of broken wrists, that was a pretty courageous performance for him coming back.
Very
inspiring. Now
no
I'm
bonus
changing.
points for broken bones.
I'm changing my tune, and I love Lance Stroll. So
yeah, Lance Stroll was the last drafted driver, wasn't he?
All right, guys, let's calm down.
He was my last driver. Yeah, he was my last pick. So
a lot of season left for him to ruin everything.
There's still time.
Early days. But yeah, that got me 30.5 points. So pretty good haul. Pretty good haul.
Bravo.
I
And
didn't
he
mention
almost ended it all in the fourth corner of the race. Lap 1 almost takes out his teammate, who ends up on the podium.
Which is why I still think that the hype around Aston Martin, we need to check ourselves a little bit, because human error is going to come in with that team. So
no, all aboard. It's real. Come on, let's go. Aston Martin all the way. Woo!
I didn't mention, though, real quick, with my team, Nick DeVries had a really bad showing this weekend. Started P19, was pretty irrelevant throughout the entire race, but he's a rookie, and it was his second race ever. So no points for Nick DeVries, but
Gonna be turning 60 years old soon.
I mean, he's an old rookie, yeah. But anyway, Jared, how'd your team do?
Over to me. My number one driver, Max Verstappen, scored 10 points, and I predicted him to be finishing in first place as well, so that got me an extra 5. So Max Verstappen alone was worth 15 points for myself. Unfortunately, I can't bet on that every week, so all good things come to an end. Then I had George Russell in 7th place. That was worth another 4 points. Pierre Gasly in 9th place, which, when you look at it on the surface, not particularly impressive. But when you think about the fact he started P20 on the grid, it's actually a pretty solid showing, all things considered.
Yes.
So him finishing in 9th place got me 2 points. Lando Norris got last out of the finishers, and McLaren just looked all around sad and very disappointing. So no points there. But the Alpine team, I do get another point there when you average out. The 2 points I got for Pierre Gasly, with the 0 points that Esteban Ocon claimed due to his about 2 or 3 minutes worth of penalties that he acquired throughout the race there.
Mm-hmm.
What was the final tally? It was like 20 seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds was
Yeah.
the final count on Esteban Ocon penalties. They should have just started going for more. Get a record at that point, right?
Be known for something.
All that being said, that totals out to be 22 points for me.
Solid haul. Jeff, I think you're next.
Well, guys, I didn't do so good. Anybody want to make a trade and or me something? Just like some words of encouragement.
Hey man, hang in there.
So I had Team Ferrari, which Carlos Sainz ended up doing decently, but Charles Leclerc, as we all know, around the 40th lap, he's experiencing some engine issues and DNF'd, so got me nothing.
Ferrari.
And he was very much so gonna probably get in the podium. So that's not good. What else isn't good? I have Esteban
Let me just
Ocon,
go down the line here.
who seemed to he just wanted to get penalties all day.
It did a great job at it.
Yeah. I said Esteban, Mr. Penalty Ocon. But he DNF'd. I can't imagine how. I want to like listen to the team radio of just like how furious he is for the silly and stupid penalties he received. I also, but on a good side, I have Alonso, which driver of the day, as we can all agree on. It's fun seeing Alonso in an Aston Martin, and then while he's driving, you can just tell that he's smiling the whole time, and he's like, "I love this car."
Yeah.
Which is
what did he
hilarious.
say when he passed Carlos Sainz? Like, okay,
I
bye
think he
bye,
did
or
say
something
that.
like
I think
that.
it's like I'm loving driving this car or something like that.
Fernando Alonso. Now this is pod racing.
So he finished third. Carlos Sainz finished fourth. I mean, nothing really noteworthy other than his teammate bowed out. And then Hulkenberg had 15th, and he was actually exciting throughout the day. He was pushing for a top 10 spot here and there.
He had a good weekend.
But overall, we kind of knew that he would probably end up in like a 12th to 15th place. So I mean, my team's shit, but I'm happy because I get to be a part of this. So I got
That's
something.
the spirit.
I got something to do. I just like to be included, boys.
The small wins.
Yeah.
Glad you're here to lose, Jeff.
And then so 11 and a half points for old Jeff here.
Ooh. There are more weeks to come, Jeff.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Just 22 more races to go. All
Yep.
right. Well, we'll rattle off what I had here. Team Mercedes got a solid whopping 5 points for both their drivers in the points, but seriously finished a minute off the pace of the front runners. That is not looking good. Woo. And yeah, I had Lewis Hamilton as the driver getting 6 points for finishing P5 for Mercedes in the opening race. And they love Bahrain. They always do so well in Bahrain, but
that's also probably the best they could have done.
Yeah. I really hope that plan B is going to come into effect soon here, because I put a lot of money down for Mercedes this year. All right. And then I had Valtteri Bottas actually did a surprisingly well job in an Alfa Romeo. He was really under the radar, had an interesting strategy that put him into P5 at one point until Fernando eventually passed him and a couple other drivers. But I predicted he would get 7th place. He got 8th place. So good for him. Bad for me. One off. Oscar Piastri. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just move right past that. No points. Okay. Joe Guan Yu got me a points for securing the fastest lap, and he didn't even finish in the top 10.
Yeah,
it's so funny. He was outside the points, running in kind of 12th, 13th place for a majority of the race, and then you just kind of went for it. At that point, you have nothing to lose except a couple positions which you're not getting points for anyway. So yeah, he got me a point in the end. So I secured a total of 15 this time around.
Take the fastest point away from someone else.
And he took that point right away from Pierre Gasly at the end, which is also kind of crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Took a point from Jared and added it to you, Dylan. There you go.
That's true.
Joe Guan Yu!
Yeah. Real.
All right. Well, before we let Jeff start making wild trades and acquisitions, we're introducing the waiver wire. So the order with which we get to claim and or start trades with each other. So we are going to start that based off of the 4th place person after the first week. So Jeff will get first claim And then Jeff can opt to pass on making an acquisition, which I would recommend that he does make some sort of move. And then it'll go to third place, second place, and first place. Once you've made a claim, then you would automatically move to the back of the list, and then the order continues from there. So Jeff, start us off with some drama.
So I kind of don't want to do anything, but I should. So
there's a case to be made for let your team pan out.
Well, I mean, Ferrari is better than Aston Martin. I'm not gonna just take Aston Martin because of one race and because Lance Stroll is he's not good. I'm not gonna just depend on when I have two drivers with Ferrari versus a decent driver in Fernando Alonso.
It's okay. You don't have to trade it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
No worries. No worries.
But who's on the waivers right now? We said sorry.
We got four drivers to pick from.
4 drivers. Okay.
There is Kevin Magnussen, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, and Yuki Tsunoda.
Right.
So I would say maybe Hulkenberg, maybe
right.
Alex
Hulkenberg
Albon
for Magnussen.
I think I'm gonna get rid of
I'm
gonna get rid of Ocon and pick up K-Mag. So now I have both Haas drivers.
You're dropping Ocon.
Yeah, dude. I think so.
Okay.
He looked terrible.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
All
okay.
right. So we're gonna scratch that off the list.
Hold
on. Ocon for
Magnussen.
I think I'm gonna do that.
K-Mag. Nope, it's secured. You said it. And we are moving on to my pick now. No.
And then Tsunoda, right? Tsunoda drove really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would be stupid to have 2 Haas drivers as well.
Just a little bit.
All of us are just like sitting here like salivating at
We're like, come on, Jeff, just drop Ocon.
So are you prepared to do both of your driver trades right now? You don't get any more.
No, I'm not trading. I'm picking them up
acquisitions.
So both your acquisitions are gone.
Shut up. I'm doing one.
Just making sure the audience is on board with
I'm doing one.
The thought process.
I'm getting rid of Hulkenberg and I'm picking up K-Mag.
Okay.
Final.
All right.
We're sticking with Ocon, and instead of Hulkenberg, we are now acquiring Kevin Magnussen.
You're
correct?
sure you don't want to drop Ocon?
No, I'm not, because I don't like what I think he had a worse weekend than Piastri did, and Piastri, his wheel fell off, or his steering wheel fell off.
That is true. That is true. All right. We locking it in with Hulkenberg for K-Mag?
It's locked. It's locked.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So Jeff now has Kevin Magnussen, and he dropped Nico Hulkenberg. All right, Dylan, you're in third place, so you're on the waiver wire.
Ooh. All right. So the real question is...
So now that you can't have Esteban Ocon, what are you going to do?
Well, Jeff, Piastri for Ocon?
Ooh,
that's an interesting one.
Give you 30 seconds to think about it there, so we don't get too much dead air here while as I think out loud as to whether or not that was a good decision. And we wonder whether or not Jeff thinks so as well.
Ooh,
okay,
right.
fair enough.
Denied. Jeff is sticking with Ocon. I like it.
Good for you, Jeff.
Now, the real question, should I trade a 4th place team for a 2nd place team and put all my money on Aston Martin for the rest of the year, considering George and Lewis are going to be fighting for like 4th and 6th every race? But if Lance has 2 broken wrists now and he's splitting Mercedes when he's fully healed, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Mercedes.
The best driver ever.
I'm going to pass the torch off to Jared, if he would like to make anything of it.
I'm in a pretty sweet spot with my team situation, because I'm sitting in a scenario where I've got the worst team, So, out of all of us here. So, if any of you guys were to pass on your team, I'm gobbling it up. Also, there's another team out there that seems like they might be fighting with the top instead of the midfield. And so I had the responsibility of picking the team that I thought was going to be the midfield winner. And I thought Alpine was going to be that team. And I am fully disagreeing with that now. I was wrong. Aston Martin are far and away better. And if Aston Martin doesn't change their car at all, they will still be better than Alpine by the end of the year. And so I am going to make an acquisition. I'm going to drop Alpine and take Aston Martin.
All right.
Solid pick.
It's a good move.
I was wrong.
As drool is coming down from his mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
As soon as this all happened, I was like, "Oh,
so Jared,
yeah."
Can Jared come back and pick up Alpine if it calls for that? Like if he gets another opportunity?
No, because it's just one acquisition.
No, but like next week or in 2 weeks or whatever. No.
No,
You
I'm
only
committed.
get one team swap if you want it, but
Okay, that's it.
Maybe I should be waiting a week or two to make this decision, but I don't think it's going to change. All aboard the
honestly.
Aston Martin hype train.
Keep in mind, last year Jared called Aston Martin the slowest car on the grid.
Last year they were at the beginning of the year the slowest car on the grid.
I can't wait for wrist fully healthy Lance Stroll to just actually complete that move and take out the back of Fernando Alonso and Jeddah, and then both of those cars DNF, and then Ocon and Gasly like get top five
through. Yeah. What if Lance Stroll's broken wrist is actually like giving him the restraint necessary to be a good driver?
It's like rookie of the year with the pitching arm.
Yeah, right. And last race of the year, the wrist will fully heal, and but in that scenario, Lawrence Stroll will just continually break Lance's wrist.
Exactly.
If that's
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Just gluing and taping his hands to the wheel.
Yeah. With his
what about Ted?
All right. So
Ted, what you doing? What you thinking, man?
I had a pretty good week, I think. That being said, I know Nick DeVries didn't have the best weekend. So that would be the one area I could go and try and get some added points. But I think my best option there would be like Nico Hulkenberg, which
or Albon. You guys are totally riding off Albon as potentially Williams could be very well getting points.
Williams definitely looked pretty competitive, and even in qualifying sessions they looked pretty good, at least comparatively to what we thought they were going to be. So I mean there are some options out there for point scorers, but I think with the way that the rest of the field looks, where it does like at what I forget which qualifying session it was, but it was like all of the cars were within 1 second of each other, top to bottom. So I feel like at least and those lower teams like Williams and AlphaTauri, they were really going for it. So if they're all that close, I'd like to wait it out and see if there's a driver that starts to pull out a couple of points before I make any moves. So I'm passing this week, and I'm keeping my spot on the waiver wire. So Jeff and Jared both made moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So Dylan would then move up into the top spot on the waiver wire. I would be second, Jeff would be third, and then Jared would be fourth for our acquisition starting next week. So
I'm not going to need to make any more though, because McLaren's going to get great after this week, and then Aston Martin's going to sail off into a championship. So all aboard the hype train. Boop, boop.
Let's go.
Jared, last idea: Norris for DeVries.
No, McLaren's good enough. They're not great, but they're a good enough organization. They're going to get something going and building points.
You like Norris too
Get
much.
out.